Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Talking Cryptocurrency podcast. I'm your host, Jason Rigden. On this episode of the show, we're talking to Raman Shalupau, founder of Crypto Jobs List. Raman has made something desperately needed in this space. Crypto Jobs List is a job site for the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. The most common problem I hear from CEOs is how to find blockchain people to hire. Crypto Jobs List is trying to make that easier. And it's a great place to look for a job too. I really enjoyed talking to Raman. You're going to love this interview, but first, I've got this quick message. Hello, if you like this episode and you want to hear more like it, please make sure you subscribe to the podcast. That way you'll get every single episode. The Talking Cryptocurrency podcast is available on all podcast clients. You can subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever else you listen to podcasts. And if podcasts aren't your thing, I publish video versions of these interviews on YouTube and DTube, so you can subscribe there too. All the links to all that stuff is going to be in the show notes. So please, if you want to hear more of this show, subscribe. Hello, in this episode, I'm here with Raman Shalupau of Crypto Jobs List. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. Excited to be on the show, Jason.
So you've made a site that kind of deals with a major problem in the cryptocurrency space. Would you mind telling us a little about the problem you're trying to solve?
Sure. So basically, we're helping cryptocurrency and blockchain companies hire. And I believe most importantly, helping exceptional talent and anyone who is interested in making a career switch to join blockchain industry and start working either as a technical position or a non-technical position.
And how are you solving this?
Yeah, so basically about like half a year ago, I was looking for a job myself for an engineering position, and I was like browsing through different like top tier companies in the space. I was applying to their jobs, and I thought that it would be great to have like a list of jobs in a space where anyone can go and just apply to all blockchain positions. So I created a very simple job board, Crypto Jobs List, and I kept it pretty simple. And so right now, the way it works is companies would post a job listing. They will describe whom they are looking for, and talent will just apply to those positions, submit their resumes, cover letters. Yeah, so it's pretty simple right now.
Yeah, it's definitely good having a specialized site. I mean, everyone I talk to, they say one of their biggest challenges is hiring people. It's really, really hard right now in the crypto space.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and especially kind of existing hiring platforms out there, like things like LinkedIn, I think Agilist as well, and like Indeed and places like that. They're a bit too generic and too broad. And whenever you post a position on one of those sites, you will get 200 applicants, but only 1% will be more or less relevant. In case with like my site and more niche websites, you might get a bit less applicants, but they're all going to be super relevant to you. They all are very interested in cryptocurrencies. And most of the time they even have certain experience, either programming or doing community management for projects, or doing content writing and etc.
So you probably see a lot of these job listings. What are some of the trends you're seeing right now? What the crypto companies need?
Right.
Maybe beside just the developer.
Right. Yeah. So generally there are kind of two big categories, is like technical and non-technical. And I think one of the big misconceptions is that people think that to work in crypto, you only need to be cryptographer with 10 years of experience and super kind of geeky and super experienced, which is not necessarily true. There is a lot of non-technical positions. And to be honest, I've seen more of non-technical positions, especially for community management for projects, content writing, quite a few analyst positions, especially for hedge funds and trading companies.
And what about geographic hotspots? Is there any places that really stand out to you?
Right. So interestingly enough, I think the number one categories of jobs in terms of location, most of them are remote. So that's, I think, pretty exciting that the crypto community is very, very global. And there are companies in Asia that are hiring, and they're open to hire someone from US and vice versa. American companies or European companies are willing to hire people on a different end of the world. But outside of remote positions, definitely US is one of the big sources of those jobs. It has a lot of demand. Places like obviously New York, San Francisco. I think the second place right after US would be European countries. So it's like Germany, UK, maybe some Spain, France. Canada is also at top of the list in terms of the number of projects. And I forgot to mention Asia. Asia is pretty big on cryptocurrencies. Regulation here is pretty favorable. So there are a lot of kind of protocol level companies here. There are a lot of ICOs as well that are happening, and all of them are pretty actively hiring.
And how long have you been doing this site again? I think you mentioned earlier, but I just want to get it clear.
Yeah. So I started it in, I think, end of September 2017.
Fantastic.
So it's been slightly over 6, 7, 8 months, something like that.
So forever in crypto time.
Yeah, that was a very high time. So, and I think the timing was very important.
So what have been some of the challenges of running this?
Right. So I think one of the top things is obviously spreading the awareness that specialized website like mine exists. A lot of people in the industry, they kind of assume just like the default go-to websites when it comes to hiring. But when they hear that there is a crypto jobs list dedicated website to hiring in blockchain space, they immediately clicks, they understand the idea and just sign me up. So just like talking to as many people, getting to as many people, that's one of the top things. I think another one is filtering out good and bad actors, both from employer perspective and talent. As any website on the internet, people can get sometimes a bit crazy and start applying with not very relevant resumes to positions that they not really clarify for. And as well, there is a few, on a company perspective, from company side, there are a few companies that are not so trustworthy, I'd say. Sometimes they, try to hire and you do not know whether they have enough funds to pay the salary, or they kind of behave in not very kind of respectful manner towards the candidate that they're hiring. So I've been putting quite a bit of effort into ensuring that the community is very friendly, people are being nice, that kind of scam companies are staying away from our site, and we've been able to kind of spot a few of them and report them, and kind of Reddit community being also pretty supportive in our kind of actions towards bad players in the space. I think that's kind of one of the top things. And obviously kind of attracting really exceptional companies and attracting exceptional talent to the platform.
There's kind of a cliche in tech job listings of having kind of crazy requirements. Like the classic thing is, having a requirement for a framework and saying you want so many years of experience, but that's more longer than the framework has been around.
Exactly.
Is that happening at your job board too in the crypto market, or have they kind of learned?
I think there are some companies that learned, some companies still haven't. I think the people who are very novice, those who came into blockchain space fairly recently, they are like, oh, I want a Solidity developer with 10 years of experience. And I laughed at that. And I'm like, hey guys, that's not how it works. You might as well hire someone who's just smart individual, who is experienced, who probably has some CTO background, and they will be able to pick up Solidity within, maybe within a few months. It's a big statement that someone will be able to pick up Solidity within a short period of time. But again, there is a lot of security implications there. So when you learn the language, you need to be kind of aware about all those possible kind of security, the
sharp edges
issues that can arise while coding in smart contracts. Right. But I think we've been trying, I tried to look at every single job description out there, and I would personally reach out to the company saying hey, this requirement does not really look right. So maybe you guys want to kind of correct that. And if you have a great, really well polished job description, you're going to get more applicants and more interest from the talent community.
And are these jobs, as far as compensation goes, are they actually offering real cash like fiat, or is it mostly in cryptocurrency they want to pay you in?
Yeah. It's a very good question. It's a mix of both. More like bigger, more established companies, they are always comfortable paying in fiat. Kind of more platform companies, they're kind of doing a mix of both crypto and fiat. And kind of ICO companies, they most of the time they just lean towards token compensation. I'm personally pretty skeptical of that, but I think it case by case basis. If the team is really truly outstanding, if their token has certain utility and good value proposition, then I would maybe take an offer. But it's kind of really wild west out there right now with token compensation and coin compensation as well.
Yeah. And it seems like some people want to kind of promise compensation a little bit later.
Yeah, it's definitely that a lot of companies are not very confident sharing their numbers for a variety of reasons. Maybe, if it's a smaller company, they will definitely feel slightly insecure that, hey, there's all this like big players out there like Consensus and Parity and Ethereum Foundation that they will probably pay high dollar for great talent. And so they will just say that, hey, our salary is negotiable or competitive, right? But it's also interesting that large companies are also not always willing to disclose that, I guess, for competitive reasons as well. They don't want like the other large crypto exchange to be aware how much the engineers are being paid. And so like kind of that's actually also one of the challenges, going back to your previous question, is that kind of communicating the job offer clearly to talent community, especially around compensation, because some people, especially senior people, they might come to this site and might be skeptical about like, hey, this job listing does not really deserve my attention because I'm not getting X amount of dollars. But they actually might be paying that. They're just not like upfront about that. I do encourage companies to be straightforward and open about their compensation and just be bold about it, and you'll get all the attention and all the best candidates out there.
Do you have any other advice for companies looking to hire talent?
Yes. Number one is definitely go to a crypto jobs list and post a job. Do explain really well what your company is doing. Try to avoid buzzwords. I'm not a big fan, and nobody really worth their salt is a fan of like words like revolutionary, game-changing, and things like that. Just be as straightforward as possible, explaining what's the value proposition of your company, why does it have a competitive edge. Explain clearly what are the requirements for like in terms of experience, in terms of skill set. Explain clearly what is the compensation, what are the perks of working in the company. Be very clear about location. And like some companies really want everyone on site. And I think it's more of like a mindset thing. There's a lot of exceptional talent spread all around the world, and especially in crypto space, it's more so that really great engineers, they're just traveling, they're just nomading. 1 month they're in South Africa, another month they're in US. And so like it's really hard to get people into the office, and you should be kind of aware of that. And don't set high expectations that like best talent will come to your door. So you should be a bit more open to hiring remote talent. What are the other tips I'm thinking? Like do specify the compensation ideally. Be more, I think it's very important that like people are getting compensated in crypto, maybe 50% split or some other ratio of paying fiat and crypto, because the more people are being paid, the more people are transacting in cryptocurrencies, the wider the adoption is, and the better off the whole industry is.
And on the other side, for the people that are looking to break into the crypto space, do you have any advice for those folks?
Right. Definitely do include a really good cover letter. Explain why do you believe that you'll be a great fit for a specific company. Do not like spray and pray kind of thing. Do not like apply with the same words to all companies and all opportunities, that's very easy to spot, and people will just throw away your application in the garbage bin. Yeah, that's for sure. So try to put at least a bit more effort into researching the company, understand how you will be able to provide the value to them, and kind of be on the top of the news, what's out there, be familiar with technologies, be open to experimentation if you're technical, experiment with different frameworks, but still do keep your kind of main expertise in check. Ensure that if you're, for example, if you're a JavaScript developer, right, that you really know how your skills can benefit a blockchain company, right? Just be optimistic and reach out, follow up with the companies. And, again, getting a job is not an overnight thing. You don't just apply and next day you'll get a kind of acceptance letter. If you do, you're very lucky. But most of the time it's kind of several month process where between the application to the successful hiring event, they're usually about 2 or 3 months, depending on the company. So you definitely need to be persistent and patient. And always be nice, of course.
Yes. Yeah, that always helps. What are your plans for the future going forward?
Right. So I just really want to keep the community and the website pretty simple. So right now we don't even require a sign up process. Maybe we will add like a very simple one, but right now people just can post their jobs or apply for jobs. So we just want to, in terms of product, I want to keep it as simple as possible, as fast as possible as well. I need to improve some things around job discovery, like search, and kind of matching algorithms that I have on the back end. Another thing is definitely need to, it's like a never ending process of getting more people on board, spreading the word out. And kind of just be nice and help community generally. And sometimes I just, reach out to certain companies and say, hey, I got this fantastic candidate. Are you going to be interested in them? Or the other way around. Some people reach out to me like, hey, I'm looking for this, very senior position. Can you find me a great company that I should be working on? Unfortunately, I cannot personally attend to every single request like that, but I still try do my best, especially if I have like a few companies or a few great candidates at the top of my mind. So
there's no crypto jobs list ICO on the horizon?
No, not at the moment. I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm coming from a bit more kind of somewhat conservative technical background, and I really like to understand things really, really well and understand why they should exist. So I kind of staying away from hype and unnecessary anything, like unnecessary technology or unnecessary actions. So not at the moment, but again, never say never. If I will see a really good fit for the token, I might start one, but at this point of time, I don't see that coming. And yeah, believe me, this has been a very popular question on a lot of conferences that people ask me, and I'm saying no. And I think they're excited and disappointed slightly at the same time, because they probably see a lot of value in what I'm doing.
Yeah, but it's very reasonable if you have a solution that you're handling and it's working right now. A big bundle of cash may not actually be all that helpful. We've seen this over and over again with companies where the cash actually kind of hurts them.
Exactly. They start, living lavish lives, and their focus gets off the track. And I think having limited resources. So, for example, this project is fully bootstrapped, and having limited resources really focuses you. It kind of makes you question, like, will people pay money for your service? If they will, that's a really fantastic sign. That means that they really value your promise. They really value your service, because if you're offering your project for free, everyone's willing to use it as long as it's free. But you do not know whether it's valuable or not. And as soon as you start charging, you will see for sure whether people are willing to pay for it. If they see the value in it, they vote with their dollars, right? So I've definitely experienced it myself, that if you keep it, if you don't have too much resources, you become more creative and you're able to produce really good results with that approach.
Yeah, people don't realize how the value of constraints, how they can really breed creativity.
Yeah. They think that they need like 20 million just to make a MVP prototype, which is not true at all. They need 20 million to buy a yacht, or maybe to help with their ego problems. But they do not need that much money to build a fantastic product. What they need is really motivated team and really motivated talent to solve the problem. And I think that goes, longer distance than having just dollars in your bank account or coins in your cold wallet.
Well, congratulations resisting the urge just to slap on the ICO.
Thank you. Thanks, Jason.
So this is a really, really needed site. Crypto Jobs List is, I can't overstate it. If you don't talk to people running these companies, you might not realize how it is on the top of their mind all the time as hiring talent. Was there anything that I should have asked you that maybe I missed?
Right. Well, I just want to repeat, just connect with us. Go to our site, cryptojobslist.com. Sign up to the newsletter. Newsletter is pretty helpful. Post jobs. Interact with me on Twitter, cryptojobslist. That's the Twitter handle. I'm trying to be pretty active there as well. And I think don't just hodl, build. I think that's one of the main mantras, is that if you want this industry to succeed, if you want the market to go up, if we want the value of our coins and tokens to go up, we should not just be like holding and passively looking at our charts. But most importantly, we need to be contributing actively to the space, and anyone can do that. You can be anywhere from a writer and writing articles, writing a cryptocurrency blog, or you can be contributing to open source software or contributing to one of the top companies out there that help kind of spread the adoption of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. So be active. Don't just be passive backholder.
Yeah, that is fantastic advice. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Jason, for inviting me. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Raman, for coming on the show. Everyone listening should go check out Crypto Jobs List. Whether you are hiring, looking for work, or just exploring, if you want to learn more about Crypto Jobs List, check the show notes. I've got all the links down there. You've been listening to the Talking Cryptocurrency podcast. My name is Jason Rigden, and I have been your host. Thanks for listening to the show. If you liked it, would you please consider giving us a rating and a review on iTunes? I look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a great day.